Alright guys, welcome back to Decks Explain. This is our series where we teach you about the best decks in the current standard format, whether you're looking to play with your friends or reach Mythic Rank 1. So today we have a really fun deck for you. It's an Emergency Powers combo deck. This deck I originally started as kind of more of a fun combo deck, but actually as I was building it and testing it, it did end up becoming a little bit more competitive, and I actually did get some ranked wins. So I'll show you the deck tech real quick, and then we'll get into some games, and I'll show you the power of this deck. So the basic premise of this deck is we take Smothering Tithe. Smothering Tithe says whenever an opponent draws a card, that player may pay 2. If the player doesn't, you create a colorless treasure artifact token, and you can sacrifice that for any color of mana. And then we play Emergency Powers, which costs 7, and it's an instant. Each player shuffles their hand and graveyard into their library, then draws 7, and then you exile Emergency Powers, unfortunately. But combining these two cards, it does force our opponent to draw 7, so we do get 7 treasure tokens off the Smothering Tithe, and then hopefully we can draw another Emergency Powers, and we can keep looping those and get multiple tithes to get extra mana, and we can play Omniscience to loop through our deck and keep playing and getting more and more mana, and then we can Banefire our opponent for the win. This deck's really fun. I'm just going to sort it into how I kind of want to just break down the deck, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've sorted out our deck here. First we have our counter spells. Negate is just a great cheap counter. It allows you to just push through your combo or counter spells like Teferi or something that's going to be annoying, something that's going to deal with your combo. Absorb's kind of in the same vein. It also gains you 3 life when you cast it, so it allows you to stay alive a little bit longer. And it fits in our card really well. And then we kind of have our draw spells. Growth Spiral is great because it does ramp us. And if we can play it on turn 2, it does allow us to play our Smothering Tithe on turn 3, which is really nice. Dovens, when you play it, you gain 2 life and draw a card. But the nice part about that is when you play an instant spell in your main phase, you can return it to your hand. We do have quite a few instants in the deck. And it's really nice when you can play Omniscience, and then you can play Dovens for free, and then play an instant for free, popping this back to your hand, playing that for free again, and hopefully keep drawing through instants and draw through our entire deck. Next we have Chemist's Insight, which is a great card. It's an instant card, it's 4 mana for 2 cards, and then you can also has Jumpstart, so you can play it from the graveyard by discarding. Teferi, I'm sure you all know. He's just a great planeswalker in Bant. He draws his cards, untaps lands. Luckily, if you untap, you'll have 2 mana to play Root Snare or a Negate. And then he can also deal with permanents that are annoying. His ultimate is also an ult win con. If you can ult Teferi and then play an Emergency Powers, you do get to draw 7 off that. So usually you can win the game just by wiping out 7 of their permanents. Next we have our survivability. So we have Root Snare, which is just a great fog. This card just keeps us alive. It's cheap. And then we have our board wipes. So we have Settle the Wreckage and Cleansing Nova. I just did a 1-1 split with these. Settle's kind of nice because it is an instant, so you can cast it with Dovens in a pinch. And then Nova is just great for dealing with all creatures. Settle is a little bit cheaper and it's an instant. And then Nova just deals with every creature. So they're a little different, but it does give us some more versatility. And then I'll just go into our win cons here. So Smothering Tithe and Emergency Powers are already kind of talked about. There is one thing with Emergency Powers though. If you do cast this and then you cast in your main phase, it does have an extra effect where you can put a card with converted mana cost 7 or less into the battlefield. So sometimes that lets you put a Smothering Tithe into the play, or sometimes that lets you put a Teferi into play, or a Dovens. The extra effect isn't super relevant, but it is a pretty good effect. Then we just have Omniscience. Omniscience just allows us to cast our cards. If you can cast an Emergency Powers with the Smothering Tithe out off of Omniscience, then you cast it for free and you gain 7 treasures, so that ramps us 7. Or alternatively, if you have 2 Smothering Tithes and you cast an Emergency Powers, then that'll give you an extra 7 mana. You'll get 14 treasures. We're pretty much just trying to go through our deck and trying to gain enough mana to Banefire our opponent for 20 or whatever their life total is. Lastly, we just have the lands. Pretty much just running all the Bant rare lands. We have 8 blue-green lands, 8 green-white lands, and 8 white-blue lands. And then we just have a Stomping Ground and a Steam Vent. I just wanted a way to cast Banefire in the earlier game. It does get shuffled back in with our emergency powers, so as long as they don't exile it, we don't have to worry about that too much. But that kind of sums up the deck, guys. Like I was saying, when I first built it, I didn't think it was too competitive, but as I started adding cards and kind of fixing it up, I actually started to get a few wins in ranked. I am just playing it in gold ranked right now, but let's see if we can get some wins here. Alright guys, let's get into some games here, see if we can get some wins. Hopefully we won't play against any quick aggro or anything with counter spells or discard. Some mid-range decks would be nice, or some slower aggro decks. This is a great hand. We have the Root Snare, we have 2 Growth Spirals, and then we have the early Tithe. He did mulligan to 6, which is great for us. He might be on Esper. Dovins is a good card. We just need a white source now, but hopefully we can draw one of those. Yeah, he is on Esper. Esper Hero, so it looks like mid-range. That's a great draw. So we can Growth Spiral here, and then we can hopefully Tithe. That's fine. We'll just Growth Spiral in response. Play our Breeding Pool, tapped. I think he did stumble on lands. We're going to play Tithe here to try to ramp us a bit. I don't think he'll pay for it just because he wants to play creatures with his hero. Yep. And then hopefully next turn we'll get to play Teferi with a Root Snare up. Yeah, let's play Teferi here. Hopefully we can draw a land off him. If not, it doesn't really matter. We would like an emergency powers as well. No land today, but we do have that Root Snare to hold up. I assume he won't pay again. But who knows? Yep, there we go. We do have a lot of draw in our hand though, so I'm feeling pretty good here. A board wipe would also be pretty good here, but we'll have to see. I am just going to Root Snare. There we go. He is stumbling on lands, but he does have quite a few creatures on board. Here's a land for us. Yeah, we kind of just want the emergency powers here. I don't hate just going Dovins and then main turn Growth Spiral. If we can draw another Root Snare, that would be great, but it doesn't matter too much. We'll play this untapped, because then we can play Chemisters. He shouldn't have a kill here. If he does have like the +2/+2 card, then we can just counter it. Hopefully we can just Chemisters. We don't really care about our Teferi. Going face? Face is the place. And then he's going to kill Teferi, I guess, with those. Sure. That's all well and fine. We're just trying to dig towards our powers right now, so sure. Oof. F for Teferi. And then we'll play Chemisters end of turn. There's another Teferi, which is a good draw, and Settle, which is great. So we actually can hold up Settle here. We also have Root Snare as well, so not super worried. If he does give us a treasure here, then we'll be able to hold up Absorb Root Snare, which maybe is a better bet than Settle, because if he has like a negate or something. We're just going to Root Snare here. I like that a little bit better. That's fine. Nice, that's a good draw. Ooh, there's our powers. So We'll play this tapped. Play powers. Nice. We just draw 2 more powers. We'll put a land into the battlefield, tapped. Get some treasures. Cast their power again. The treasure sacrificing is kind of an annoying little UI here, but we did get another powers. Put this Dovins in. Omniscience is really good, but unfortunately we don't have enough mana to cast it. I kind of want to go powers here again since we have the Dovins. We could play another tithe, but that would force us to have to draw the root snare. But only we had enough mana for omniscience. I'm not going to cycle this in because we don't want to. It'll just get thrown away. So here we want to play Teferi. We do have the Settle, which is great. Unfortunately, we only have 1 emergency powers left in our deck, but that's fine. Dovins is a good draw here. We'll play the second Dovins real quick. And then we'll just pass to our opponent. Hopefully he doesn't have any sort of counter spell or anything, but we do have an absorb, so we should be fine. Now we just want to draw our Banefire or our next emergency powers. We do only have 1 left, so it's 1 in 36 for both of them. But we should be able to settle here. And then untap and use our Teferi. Hopefully we'll draw another instant because that will allow us to that'll allow us to play our Dovins. And then we do have another Smothering. That's fine. That's just going to get absorbed. If he targets the treasures with those, you can actually just sacrifice the treasure that he does target. So that doesn't really matter. He attacks all. I'm sure he doesn't expect to settle. But we'll just cast a settle targeting him. He's going to get infinite lands, but that's okay. We don't mind as long as he doesn't have creatures. I mean, I guess that fixes his screw problem. And he just concedes. Nice, we got a win there. Unfortunately, we didn't get to combo off, but that's okay. All right. Hopefully our deck will give us another good hand. Yes, it did. Unfortunately, we're not on the play, but that's fine. We'll keep it. Play this untapped on turn 1. I think the gate deck is a good matchup for us. We really want to tithe here. We can go off with our early combo, but even just playing an early Teferi is pretty good. Yeah, looks like he's on gates. All right, so here we're just going to play this, pass to his turn, then we'll play Growth Spiral, play this off Growth Spiral. We did draw Chemisters, which is good. That's fine. So we can play Chemisters next turn. We are hitting all our land drops, which is excellent. All right, so this round's a 4/4 now. I'm sure he's just going to get in. That's fine. We do have a Root Snare, which is good. Play Chemisters end of turn here. Nice. So we can actually just play Teferi here. Draw a card. No, that lets us hold up Root Snare. We did draw a Tithe. So we do have all our combo pieces that we need. That's fine. He does have a few of the fancy guild gates here. The Simic one looks pretty cool. I like how it shimmers with the water. That's interesting. He's probably just going to go at our Teferi. Yep. We're just going to Root Snare him. There's another powers. Draw a card. Here we just want to play. Whoops. Just want to play tithe. And then end of his turn, we'll probably just chemisters. And then next turn, we should be able to play emergency powers. Assuming he doesn't deal with our enchantment, which he might. He does pay for it. That's fine, though. We'll see what he has here. Another route. We do have to hold on to our land just because we need a guaranteed 7. Because we didn't get the treasure off this. But that's fine. I'll probably just pitch a powers, to be honest. I actually don't mind just biding our time here. I'm going to pitch a powers. I like to get the Dovins down before we powers. That's fine. He did. Didn't expect a fairy to live there. Let's go. Actually, okay, so here we're gonna go. Sorry guys, let me think for a sec. Okay, here we're just gonna go to fairy. We're gonna minus on his Gate Colossus. And then hopefully he just attacks our Teferi here. Or he attacks face. We'll see though. I'm gonna wait as long as we can to go off. Just because ideally we'd like to get this down. Because sometimes you do brick on the emergency powers, so it's better to have the Dovins active. He did go after the Teferi, which is fine. If he doesn't have another creature, we don't die next turn. So potentially we don't need another Root Snare. We do have 3 in our library though. That's fine. I guess he just wanted to do that while we were tapped out. Ooh, that's spicy though. Alright, we can definitely go off now. That's fine, don't care about that. How much mana do we have? 4, 7, 11? So yeah, we can actually... we could cast this end of turn. I'd rather just cast Dovins though. Good. I could just wipe his boards, but since we're doing a video, I'd rather just go off now. Try to get this game over with. Alright, so we have 2 extra treasures. We don't want to put that back in our hand. Get a new hand. We want to put this into play. Pay 2 life. Because that way we'll get 7 treasures and then we can cast our Omniscience. And then we should be able to win. Especially because we have 2 Dovins and we have 2 Dovins, we have Teferi, and we have Chemister's Insight, as well as our Banefire. So I can't imagine we'll have any issue here. Yeah, like I said, if your opponent's not interacting that much, you can actually get pretty good wins here. Like, he's just trying to do big stuff as well, and we're kind of just running him over here. Because he doesn't have any counter spells, doesn't have any discards, so... Play our Dovins again. Yeah, this is the interaction between Omniscience and Dovens that I was talking about, you can pretty much draw your entire deck now. Cast this. See, you can even cast cards like Settle the Wreckage or Root Snare to get your Dovens back. Cast these, and then that'll just keep us drawing into our instants. Hopefully we'll draw another Emergency Powers, or we'll draw... I'm going to play Teferi. Or we'll draw... more... Hopefully we'll draw something. So we drew an instant there, which is good. We'll play Growth Spiral. We really want the Emergency Powers, but we should be fine here. There's the powers. Put that in the battlefield. Play our Dovens out. So those are on the field once we draw. There's another powers, but that's just going to get shuffled away anyway. There's another tithe, so that should get us the game. There's powers. We'll decline both of these. And then we're gonna get 14 treasures. We did get a Banefire here. We don't have a 20 quite yet. But we can play Settle. And then get our Dovens back and draw some more. Target myself. Just for the extra skill points. It's classy. I will decline the action. Alright, play our Dovens. Luckily we were able to get the second Dovens, so we shouldn't have any issue. Yeah, especially with that Chemisters there. All we need to do here is we need to get another powers, and then we'll be able to kill him. Play our Dovens. Yeah, that'll ramp us another 7, so hopefully we'll be able to hopefully we'll be able to deal him 20 with Banefire. We're going to draw 4 here. And the nice part about Growth Spiral as well is we do get to play all the extra lands, so that is taking lands out of our deck. There's a power. Just play this real quick. Play these. This combo is there we go. This combo is a little dirtily, but it's a fun one. I feel kind of bad for our opponent because he has to watch, but at least it's interesting and not a combo you see too often. So he kind of gets to watch something interesting. Whoops. Let's play power here for free. That'll get us. No. That'll get us the mana we need. And there's our Banefire. Excellent. This doesn't matter. Sure. So now we get more treasures, 14 more. Which gives us 28 in total. And then we can cast this. And we'll just Banefire him for 20. He doesn't have any mana open, so we should get the win here. Unfortunately, the treasure UI, I don't know if I said this already, but the treasure UI is really annoying. I guess it's just so you don't tap all of them for like one color or something stupid like that, but I wish there was like a tap all or a sack all for one color. There we go. Banefire for 20, and we got the W. I know that combo took a little while to go off, but I hope it was fun to watch. This is an excellent hand. We have 3 lands, we have Growth Spiral, we have the combo, we have Chemisters. I think this might be the best hand we can get. Now we just need to draw lands off the top, but... Bit of hinterland. Excellent draw there. We're probably just going to want to go turn 4 Smothering. Turn 3 Smothering. Playing a turn 3 Smothering is so strong just because it does like really stall your opponent. He played an Amara, so maybe he's on some sort of like token build. Oh, another tithe. That's huge. So we'll play this. Hopefully he doesn't have any conclaves or anything. And then if we can play a second tithe and go off with emergency powers, that should just be a quick combo kill. He does pay. Interesting. See what I mean? It's a great tax in the early game. Now he only has 1 mana on turn 3. And now if we play a second one, I doubt he can pay for both of them. And then we have 5 mana, 6 mana. So as long as he gives us 1 treasure here, then we can play emergency powers. We'll get 14 treasures, and then we can hopefully do something fun. Sometimes you brick, but hopefully we won't. And at least if we brick, hopefully we can get like a board wipe or something. Or at least it's a fairy, because we will be casting this in our main phase. History is fine. And he did give us 2 treasures, so we will be able to cast emergency. Our best draw would be like Omniscience and another emergency. That would like win us the game. Teferi's good, but unfortunately he's going to get shuffled away. We're going to tapped. Alright, we'll pay. And then we'll get 14 mana. See what our draws are. Not the best, unfortunately, but we're going to have a heck ton of mana. And then we should just be able to settle him. We'll just have to play a little bit of a controlling game here, but that's fine. We do have 3 tithes, so we should start getting a lot of mana. If we can draw a Banefire, then we should just be able to kill him. He didn't pay for any of them. We're actually just going to Root Snare here, though. Just because we want him to commit more to the board. We'll see what he has, though. That's fine. Let's Root Snare here. Yeah, we'd actually have exact lethal if we drew Banefire here. The art on Root Snare is actually pretty cool. I never really looked at it. That horse down there is awesome. So we take no damage. We'll see what he casts here. That's an excellent draw. And then we still have to settle. Oh yeah, there's a Nova. We'll flash this back just to see if we can get a powers. That's a Teferi at least. We'll play Teferi here. And then we still have enough mana to hold up, settle, and absorb. Draw a card. Actually, I think that gives us enough to... Ooh, it doesn't matter. I was going to say, it gives us enough to go settle, double absorb. But we got the emergency powers for 21 mana. Which is huge. That's the exact draw we wanted. This is such a fun deck. And you can actually win. Like, this guy's playing, I don't know, some sort of Bant tokens deck, and we're doing pretty well. We did have a really good hand, but there's our Omniscience. So we'll put a Tithe in play. Get a bunch of mana, 21 to be exact. We're going to play our Omniscience off of that. Oh, okay, he's paying for some, sure. All right. Now at least all these will go quick. He should have just clicked Resolve All. But play Omniscience with the croc 8 billion treasures here. I apologize. The whole 10 clicks game. But this is a fun combo. I love Omniscience. It's a fun card to cast. We'll play our Teferi here. Keep this one. We'll uptick. Gate. Play Growth Spiral. Play Growth Spiral. Ugh. Well, we don't die, I don't think. But we do have counter spells, but it's not looking too hot for us. We need that. We need a Banefire, or we need something here. Because that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, we'll live. We have double counter, so. Hopefully he goes face. We'd like to keep our Teferi so we can draw stuff, but. This is what I mean. Sometimes you just brick. Like we have 15. That's bad. We're going to counter that. We have 15, 20, 24 mana. He'll probably attack Teferi though, unfortunately. Not really any reason for him not to. Unfortunate, but let's draw something good. Powers off the top. We have 2 still. Brick, brick, brick. That's okay. At least we did get a bunch of treasures and play Omniscience. I think that's just a concession. That was really fun though. I enjoyed those games. I appreciate anybody who stuck by this long. I know that was a really long video, but it is kind of a slower deck, and the combo is pretty slow. And I wanted to include a few games, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I really enjoyed playing that deck. It was super fun. I love that combo. If you guys did like it, feel free to give me a like. And if you guys want to see more content from me, feel free to hit the sub button. Hopefully I'm going to do more deck techs soon. I'm not sure when I'll release my next one, but we'll see. But I will see you guys in the next one, and have a great day.